Welcome to the GRC Sports Show. I'm Austin Curtis.
I'm Brent Stevens.
And I'm Hunter Osborne.
And we are now welcomed by our new co-host, Luke Sherrod. Luke, glad to have you here. Today we'll talk about Pokey Harris, boys basketball, girls basketball, the national championship game, and UK basketball. First we'll start with Pokey. Pokey was named third team All-State by the Louisville Courier-Journal. Brent, how do you feel about that accomplishment?
He had an outstanding season. He was just 60 yards off the school record set by Ryan Williams 2008, had 1,943 yards rushing, has a school record for 377 yards in one game. Also has records of a 97-yard touchdown reception and a 65-yard touchdown reception. Both were school records, both in the same game. He was just an incredible player, and he will be missed next year.
Most definitely. Hunter, how do you feel? You've watched Pokey for about 4 years now. How do you feel the program's going to move on without Pokey?
It's going to be tough. Pokey, a star power player. He was a kid. He's always been faster than everybody. He's very tough to, play defense around. Defensive coordinators around the state, had to plan around Pokey Harris, and he's definitely going to be missed around here. I think he deserved to be more than third team All-State. Probably a lot of bias coming from the Courier-Journal. A lot of Louisville schools, St. X, Trinity. Probably a lot of bias right there, but kid definitely had an outstanding year.
Most definitely. Now we're going to talk a little bit about girls basketball. They've been kind of hot, 2 wins in a row, last 4 out of 5. They lost to Montgomery County. Overall, having a pretty good season though. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. Brent, what do you think about it?
They've been pretty good. Brittany Yang and Sandra Skinner down low. They've been their leading scorers and rebounders for Lady Cards. At this level, you won't find girls who can be able to present one-on-one matchups with them. I think they have a really good chance next Friday against Montgomery County. Get a good rematch game at home, blackout. There'll be a lot of excitement.
Definitely. We'll be back in a moment.
Visit grchs.com on January 17th to check out our promotional video. And buy the yearbook!
I'm joined here by Justin Harris, a.k.a. Pokey, a.k.a. Mr. Rager, an outstanding football player here at GRC. And just want to start out asking you how you felt the season, man.
The season didn't go as we planned. We went 3-8, but like I said, we got a tough schedule this year. We fought every game, so that's all that matters really. But like I said, we didn't come out as like we wanted to. Hopefully next year we can improve with a better record, but not yet.
Okay. So some stats here. You got named the third team All-State by the Louisville Courier-Journal. 1,943 rushing yards, just 60 off the school record. So how did you feel about all that?
I felt great. I wish I got the school record, but a couple games cost me around the game and a couple turnovers, penalties. But I still feel I'm so humble about the record. It's a pretty cool thing. The West that I got, I'm up there, but it's not it. Yeah, I wish I got that record, but
what are your plans going forward for the college?
I got a couple of scholarship offers right now. I'm still patient with it, just waiting to the sign day. I'm undecided right now. But I've been sending out films to a lot of colleges, highlight film, stuff like that. So once I see the feedback from that, I can probably make my decision.
Are you still keeping Kentucky in the mix?
Yeah, Kentucky's still in the mix. Yeah.
Well, that was Pokey Harris, and we'll be back with more of the Clark County Sports Show.
And we're back here on the GRC Sports Show. We're going to talk a little bit about Clark County basketball now. First, we're going to start out with freshman basketball. Luke, you're on the team. How are y'all doing this year?
We're doing pretty good. We're 11-4. We've won some close games, lost some tough ones, but we always come to play.
Good. Are you going to lose anybody next year? Are y'all going to move up to JV and varsity?
A lot of us will move up to JV at the end of this year after the freshman season's over, and a lot of us will play varsity at JV next year.
Right. Now we'll talk a little bit about varsity boys basketball. 16-2, won 14 games in a row. Brent, how are they looking this year?
They've been pretty good. They're ranked 9th in the state. They did very well over Christmas break, running 2 big holiday tournaments. Won the Ashton Invitational, beating state runner-up Rowan County 50-48. Adam Thacken was named tournament MVP, and Bob Stenzel and Charlie Rogers were named to the alternate team along with Thacken. They also won the Whitaker Bank Fort Herod Classic, where Stenzel was named tournament MVP. They're on a fantastic run, and I don't see an end in sight.
That's right. Big game Friday night against Montgomery County. A little bit of a rematch, lost on a buzzer beater last year. earlier this year. Hunter, how do you think this game's going to go?
It's definitely going to be a tough game. Clark County fans coming out strong. It's the blackout. It's definitely going to be a crazy game. Clark County fans and players wanting revenge. It's really going to be tough trying to stop Hanshoe and Pruitt. Definite. They're very good basketball players. You can't deny that. But I think the Cardinals are going to come out ready to play, take care of business.
Yeah, you've got to agree though that this team is much different this time around. They're developing at all positions, getting much more production from Dominique, Taylor Howard starting now. I think it'll be a different matchup. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. They're definitely the X factors for this team. Van Cleve, the defensive stopper, you put him on anybody, and he's definitely going to eat them up. And Taylor Howard is a three-point threat. He's going to stretch the floor and make the defense work.
Definitely. Luke, you've caught a lot of games. How do you think they're looking this year?
I'm really surprised with how well they're playing, considering losing 3 Division I athletes last year. I think they're going to play, and they're playing really good defense right now.
Right.
Lopper and Batkin and Charlie and Benjamin and Taylor, starters are all doing really well.
Now, we'll talk a little bit about the national championship game. Kind of a disappointment in my eyes. 21-0, Alabama getting that victory. Hunter, how do you think?
It depends, which eye you're looking through, I guess. If you're rooting for Alabama, it's the greatest game you ever watched. If you're rooting for LSU, then, you're probably falling asleep before the end of the first half. LSU struggled throughout the whole game, moving the ball, only crossed the 50-yard line once late in the fourth quarter. Already too late as Alabama had that game in hand in the first kickoff.
Brent, you watched it. How do you feel about it?
I felt the difference this time around was A.J. McCarron. He really proved to be mobile. He evaded sacks. Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus Claiborne, both of them couldn't bring him down. Threw for 234 yards on 23 of 34 passing and no turnovers. That's what LSU's defense feasts on. No turnovers this time around. Alabama ran for 150 yards. LSU for just 39. LSU just came out quick.
Absolutely.
They absolutely did.
Special teams also, I think, played a big key. Alabama's kicker, he makes field goals this time around. He makes field goals that first game. LSU may not be playing in the national championship.
Very true.
It could have been Oklahoma State, Alabama, had that been the case.
It's very true. Well, we'll be back in a moment with UK basketball.
The GRC Sports Show is brought to you by Smack Signals.
Welcome back to the GRC Sports Show. I'm Hunter Osborne. I'm here with GRC basketball player Taylor Howard. Taylor, you came into this season as an offensive threat, a deathly shooter from behind the three-point arc. How do you feel like your overall game has developed throughout the season?
Well, Coach Humphrey just put a lot of emphasis on more of the all-around players than just on offensive end. So I've been working really hard on defense and wanting to play.
Definite on the overall game standard. The team itself was on a 14-game win streak, the last one against Harrison County. What do you think the key to success is for the team?
Biggest key to success is probably just people figuring out their roles, who should be playing where, getting more experience as the season went along. The tournaments helped out a lot with that, and just becoming more solid on defense.
Absolutely. In a big game this Friday against the Montgomery County Indians, how do you all plan to stop the Omar Pruitt show?
We just got to stop their offense by being really physical with him and playing smart, because he tries to draw a lot of cheap fouls, and so does Jake. And if we block out, they shouldn't be able to even contend with us rebounding wise. So defense is just the biggest key for that.
Absolutely. And you are a two-sport athlete here at GRC. You're a basketball player as well as a baseball player. What is your plan as you move on to the collegiate level?
I'm not sure what I'm doing in college yet or what sport I'm going to be playing, but either sport will do. I like both. I have a passion for both of them, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. We'll be back in just a few minutes with more of the GRC Sports Show.
And we are back on the sports show talking about UK basketball now. Played Auburn last night. Really, really ugly game if you're a UK fan, but all that matters is we pulled out the W, 68-53. Luke, tell us a little bit about how that game went.
It was a sloppy game. We didn't really play that well until the last 5 minutes of the game. Davis had 14 points, 6 rebounds. Ron Land had 14 points. Darius Miller with 9. He had a clutch shot at the end of the half and hit another one when Auburn was on a bit of a run. He's a senior leader and he's really producing, playing well.
Most definitely. Brent, I know you watched it. How do Auburn kind of shot itself in the foot with only shooting 1 for 12 from 3. I think that's probably why they didn't come back.
Yeah, and one thing I was disappointed about, Auburn out-rebounded us. They had many offensive rebounds. Just poor effort from the Cats. That's something we haven't seen throughout this year. Hopefully something that's just a one-time deal. I don't think it'll be a factor against Tennessee. Hopefully we can come out and get them.
Absolutely. You know, Coach Cal has come out and said, you know, for as talented as his team is, you know, Anthony Davis, Kid Gilchrist, you know, they're freshmen. Sometimes they don't play like it, but, you know, away from Rep Arena, they play like freshmen. They play sloppy. You know, Teague didn't turn the ball over, you know, against Auburn as much as he normally does in most games. And I think that really helped the Cats. You know, he played okay. But, you know, hopefully he gets them turned around, and come March, you know, the Cats are really rolling.
I definitely don't think that'll be a problem. Played Louisville over the break. Big game. Really sloppy game from both teams because they really couldn't get into a tempo with 53 fouls called. That's a lot of fouls called.
Absolutely.
Hunter, you watched it. How do you think the Cats perform though? Like,
you know, Louisville always comes in. You know, they play a very physical game. You know, UK fans still disappointed either that Patino left or, you know, no one likes him. You know, mixed feelings about Patino. You know, he comes in. He's very he's very how do you want to say it? You know, he's very particular about what his players do. You know, none of them walked out when they announced their names for starting lineups. They didn't shake hands before the tip. And, you know, it came out sloppy. Louisville comes in, they plays physical. Peyton Siva, great physical guard up front. Very good player for Louisville. But, you know, it was a very ugly game. The Cats pulled it out. You know, a win's a win.
that's right. Big game Saturday at Tennessee. Just real quick, how do you think it's gonna go?
15-point win for the Cats.
15-point win, Hunter.
15-point win. You know, the way Tennessee played against Florida, you know, it could be any game. It depends, you know, which team of blue shows up. Is it going to be the good team or the team that plays like they're freshmen?
Luke?
Tennessee, you know, they're kind of a hot and cold team. They lost to the University of Charleston, I believe, and away. But they did get a big win against Florida, so we'll see how they come out to play. It is at Knoxville, so we'll see how the freshmen perform. Marcus Teague can limit the turnovers. Michael makes some big shots, and Anthony can farm some shots too.
So UK is going to be victorious on that game. Well, thank you for watching the GRC Sports Show.